Madison Avenue, known for some of the best shopping in the city, if you have the money to spend.
We've been in this location for about 20 years.
But smack in the middle of Jimmy Choo and Hermes, 7 floors up.
We got a placard on the wall. If people are interested enough to find us, that they normally are able to.
Is the James Cummings bookseller.
A shop that is maybe a little harder to find.
We are not talking about a Barnes & Noble here. A short elevator ride up, and you enter another world. One that book enthusiasts could really get lost in.
We really take anything in that we think is exciting or valuable, and that's one of the things that differentiates us from other dealers around here.
Run by a father and son, the James Cummings bookseller began back in 1978.
My father started it. He was a book junkie. He loved and still does love books. He had a private collection of his own that turned into a business, and we actually have 400,000 books.
All 400,000 are not in the Madison Avenue location, no, but there are certainly shelves and shelves of books to look through.
This is all 19th century American, so we have James Fenimore Cooper and Cummings and the ilk. And over here we have our Americana section, and here we have our illustration section.
Yes, you can purchase books that are under $100, but the bookseller is known for its bindings that are more like investments, really, rare finds.
This is The Hobbit by Tolkien. This is a beautiful example of the first edition in the original jacket. This book was printed in 1937. We had this priced at $60,000.
You'll also find an inscribed first edition of Casino Royale, still in its nearly immaculate dust jacket.
It's going to be a 6-figure book, and it's inscribed to Fleming's brother-in-law.
A copy of The Great Gatsby in a decorative box, a first edition of Cat in the Hat, and even Maurice Senbach's Where the Wild Things Are.
This one actually has a little drawing inside of Max.
There's also art and photographs like this original from one of the first flights, signed by one of the Wright brothers, and
many people might recognize this painting, which was actually the cover for John Knoll's most famous book, A Separate Piece, which sold millions and millions of copies, and most kids had to read in high school. Hoping that someone who read the book resonated with, and they'd like to own a piece of it.
So the bookseller is located at 699 Madison Avenue in Manhattan. If you're like me, you're just going to be going there to look at some of those items, right? By the way, that painting, you can hang it on your own wall if you have a spare $24,000 to spend. I mean, but some of those things are just incredible to see, like a first edition book that goes for 6 figures. I just want to see what it looks like.
It's really so cool, and then signed by the Wright brothers.
Right.
I mean, it's just really awesome, but I can't imagine spending that kind of money just for the book.
There's so many nooks and crannies. It reminds me of one of those things like when you have like those auctions and people spend all this money on something, you're like, what? But it's just another hidden New York. There you go.